Hello, Rachel here. Welcome to my Slow TV Stitchery. We created this design inspired by, I think, a May Queen design by Margaret MacDonald. Her ladies didn't have wings, and we were trying to create something that would be quite rich and spectacular, so that the very simple carved wood figures of my nativity set would be brought forward. Looking at it again, we think we're going to do something entirely different, but this was the starting point for the canvas work angel. Well, good morning everybody, and welcome to the new dispensation for Slow TV Stitchery. This design is one that I have left in abeyance for quite a long time because, well, largely because it's so visually confusing to work on, and I just lost enthusiasm for being visually confused. It's a design that is taken from yet another design. My Mum and I were trying to work out a background panel for a rather lovely, very simple nativity set that I inherited from a great uncle who bought it when he was stationed in Bavaria after the war, and it is simple and charming, and we thought something splendid might set it off rather well, something that was richly coloured and gorgeous might throw the figures forward and make the simplicity of them stand out. And Mam created a rather gorgeous design, vaguely inspired by a Margaret MacDonald panel, May Queens or something like that, or Sounds of Spring, can't remember. And she gave the figures wings, and we gave them a sort of, how shall I put, a sort of background of colonnades and gates and things like that. And looking at it again this morning, need to think it out again. The carved wood figures are a sort of warm blonde wood of some description, and so I think that silver in the background and cool colours will set them off nicely. So I'm going to completely revamp that design before I do it, and I'm very glad that I hadn't started. The reason I hadn't started was because I wasn't sure how to do it. when you realise that one of the reasons you weren't sure is that you had your doubts, but you didn't know you had your doubts. Things become a lot easier. But I thought I would work one angel as a design for a Christmas card or something. And I got started, and for reasons which became clear to me when I was threading my needles for this session, I became exasperated. The angel herself was very quick to stitch. Yeah, I think this is Congress cloth. It's certainly, it's full of size. It's not made any easier by having gold paint on it. I can't now remember whether that was me or whether it's a piece that I inherited that already had gold on it. As I'm sure you're aware, once you are known in the local area as someone who stitches, you tend to fall into people's thoughts whenever they find themselves clearing another stitcher's house. So you fall heir to all sorts of things. I thought maybe during lockdown, first time round, I might do something about sorting out what I had. But in the event, I concentrated on the Amana family, and I'm very glad I did actually, because I enjoyed doing them, apart from anything else, and it was very satisfying to see them gradually coming together. Now the idea of the background here is the sort of patterned diaper work background you sometimes see in medieval embroidery, or indeed, depending on the period they were done, icons or stations of the cross in churches. Hence the patterned figured gold, which is now the only thing I have to do because the angel herself was so quick to stitch. I made use of that interesting pearl cotton, I think it's Anchor produce, which has a sparkle in it, and it worked quite well, and surprisingly for something that has a gold thread, gold filament involved, it wasn't quite as tender to stitch with as I expected, so that was good. I haven't worked out how to do the hair yet, but I've got a lot of stitching to do on this diaper work. I tried not to make it too big, but I have to surround the whole figure, so here I go. And this is very exasperating canvas. You would think that after a substantial section of this pattern, I would have worked out how to tackle working it in the most error-free fashion. But you would be wrong, because I have found it, and again this is probably one of the reasons that it fell by the wayside. I haven't found a way of making it unambiguous to stitch. A part of the problem is the subtlety of the background. It's all shades of gold, and it's quite a lot to keep track of. I think this goes here. Close tones are always a bit tricky. That is the stack one, so there's one lower here. What I am hoping, of course, is that by working it as slow TV, I will have the discipline to get it completed so that we can all enjoy looking at it this Christmas. I'll have to see about that. I may also, of course, find a scheme somewhere along the way that allows me to tackle this with a little more ease. We shall see. It is of course easier once the first one in a row is in. I originally had features envisaged for the angel, and then as I came to it, I felt that this was such a design of pattern rather than person, shall we say, that it would be somehow wrong to do anything too definite. I've given the angel gold skin and left it at that for now. Until I can work out how to do the hair, and whether when I have the background in, the angel needs features in order to show, because it's an odd thing that some designs desperately need features in order for the figures to make sense, and others which look superficially similar actually do better without any features. So I'm not sure which camp this design is going to fall into, but I can always add features, and taking them out would be a pain. So for now we are leaving them in, out. Shake it all about. That's all for this session. I hope you enjoyed following along. Happy stitching!